Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tea Time with Amy and Bev. Howdy, howdy.
Howdy, howdy. Good day.
Good day, night, evening, afternoon, morning.
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing.
And whenever you're watching this video.
Nice. Well, I will say we've had a few conversations here at home, Freeman and I, and recently we discussed my perspective before when I would go see clients or when clients would come see me. I would absorb their energy and I would come home with their energy on me. And then our conversation the other day that he brought to my attention was we don't really actually absorb somebody else's energy. We actually just dip down into their energy. And then we don't, if I come home and I still have others' energy on me, whether I'm at the grocery store or wherever I'm going, it's not that I absorbed their energy. It's I put focus into those people's energy, whoever, whatever I paid attention to. And it's my responsibility to bring my energy back into self. So that's just an indicator to let me know that I'm probably not grounded. I'm not in my own energy. And then that took me into the other place of vampires, right? We always talk about these people that are vampires. They're always sucking and taking our energy. Well, that's to me is a victim statement now, because I used to believe the same thing as well. But from my perspective where I'm at today, when I look at that stuff, I recognize that's giving my power away. If I'm saying that someone's sucking the energy off of me, I'm giving my power away. I'm saying that I'm not strong enough to maintain in my own energy that I'm giving it away. And it's like, so I don't know how everybody else feels about it, but from my perspective, I don't have a belief in that system any longer. I believe that it's up to me to maintain that energy. I feel like we call these people energy vampires, but we also speak about them the whole time. We talk about the situation the whole time. We align ourselves with energy that we don't really want to be in. And so it has changed my perspective on so many things where it's affecting the things that I listen to because the things that I listen to just last week don't resonate with me any longer because I'm recognizing there's a lot more victim statements that are coming forward and we don't recognize it. It's just part of the evolution. That's all it is. It's not good or bad. It's just where we're at the time. But where I'm at now, my perspective is totally different about that. And that puts more responsibility in my hands. Where's my energy at? What am I thinking right now? What am I creating right now? And it's a constant thing. And the more that I'm in that space, because that is my full-time job. My job isn't anything else. It's that is my job. I am my passion, right? It's like all these things that we've tried. When we're saying, oh, find something you're passionate about, that's still, again, a statement of something that's outside of yourself. The passion is for myself, the passion of this energy, this connection that I have with inside self. That's the most valuable from my perspective. So this is where I'm at today.
I love it. And yeah, it's evolving. I want to say evoluting, evolving. I'm gonna make up words today, just so you know. Um, we so it, if we went back to the beginning of time, that would be a long time ago. But we each step of learning about energy, spirit, source, even love, like um, each time something is introduced, so such as the concept and the conversation about absorbing energy. That's how we understood it at that time. Somebody received that information to start sharing it. Just like you're contemplating this idea now, this new theory or belief or truth for yourself, that somebody received that same information only at a back in the day, years ago, and so it made sense to everybody, those spiritual teachers and influencers, to start teaching that because that's what resonated. That's what made sense. And now it's like the next level. We get to a spot where, okay, is there anything we start asking those internal questions really? Is there anything more about absorbing energy? Is it I'm just open and free willy nilly and just letting everybody's energy come to me? Am I um, being so empathetic that I'm taking on their energy? Am I I'm owning being the fixer, and so everybody's problem's my problem, so I'm holding their energy? Am I the people pleaser and um, trying to fit in with everybody? So I need to match their energy, which means I'm bringing in their energy too, right? So all of that made sense. And when you start really thinking about it, um, it was it was almost like a relief that, oh, okay, so I can do something about this. I'm having these wild roller coaster emotions that one minute I'm fine, but then next minute I'm around these people and I'm either angry or I'm sad, I'm super depressed or irritated, like, or I'm elated because these people are high energy. And then when they leave, I'm exhausted. Like, it's just this constant up and down and back and forth. And it gave, um, it gave hope, really, that we're not crazy. It's like so having this new, I'm going to say idea, concept, theory, makes sense to me, and I'm all about the evolution process of that next level of what makes sense to me. And as soon as you start talking, I'm like, well, here we go, here's something. So
Yeah.
no, it's great that you're introducing this because, first of all, somebody was having the conversation also, and that was Freeman. Freeman is contemplating this idea about energy, and you're having this outside experience with your clients, and then you are in this alignment process of having that conversation, and now having a conversation with me. And then when this video goes out, we're having a conversation with the audience, whoever's listening. And it just, and we've talked about this before. He's not the only one that's receiving this information.
Hmm.
This information is being received by thousands, if not millions of people who are now ready to receive that information, that message, to go, oh, yeah. I will also say for a very long time that in the discussion of absorbing energy, the way we understood it at that time
Hmm.
is we always talk about maintaining your energy. Always
Yes.
talk about maintaining each. That is our as individuals responsibility, is maintaining my energy. And so I can match Bev's energy right now. I can match, the uh irritated person at work. I can match the elated person who's just over the moon, excited about life. Like, maintaining my energy and what feels good to me is my responsibility.
It totally is. And it's not a, like I said, it's not a good or a bad thing to be in the other space because that was just a step. That was just one step to get to
Right.
the next place. And then you said asking a lot of questions. I have been asking a lot of questions. And then I'll listen to this one card reader, and she will, during her messages, may ask a bunch of questions, and I'll repeat those questions to myself for wanting answers. And then it's just another way of taking myself out of a victim mentality because I kept thinking, oh my gosh, I'm taking on all this energy and I'm doing all these things. I could look at a person from across the gas station while they're pumping gas because they got a grouchy look on their face, and the next thing you know, I've got a horrible stomach ache. And it's great, but it's also knowing that we can use those tools whenever we need to. We grew up, most of us, and I would probably say a lot of Gen Xers, most of us grew up knowing the energy that was around the house and how to kind of navigate that, good or bad. We knew that, and that's how we got tuned in more to the empathic skills. We got tuned into more of the people that are outside of us. During this conversation, I'm receiving my own downloads, my own messages as I'm saying this because I've never thought about my passion should be myself. That was something that came through from spirit, my higher self, the council, however we want to say it. But it was something, and it was new to me during that conversation how it came forward. And that's why it's so valuable for us to have these conversations and listen to what we're saying because there's more information coming forward for us. And so now I'm in a mind space just during our conversation that I'm not pursuing anything. There's nothing for me to have to go do or to pursue. There's nothing. The best thing I can do is, we can listen to people, and when they have their conversations, whether I might label it good or bad, if I label it where I don't really want that, it automatically spurs me to go into the thoughts of what would I like to create from that? What does it look like for me? Instead of me being like pushing against something that somebody else is saying that I don't agree with, I can, this is my world. I can create from that space. And it's like, what do I want it to look like? Because we've already been seeing the what is. And the more you want to look at it, you can see more what is. But it's not the same. What is isn't for everybody. That everybody's not experiencing the same exact thing. So it's really that all of this has been opening my eyes, and it's been such a great process for me to kind of experience this. And it puts the power back in my control, puts my power back into where I'm better for everybody, including myself. And or I can say that differently. I'm better for myself, including everybody else. Because I've got to be good for me. And for the longest time, even though I would say self-care, do these things, I wasn't always doing those things. And I still am working through that. I'm a work in progress. But it's just recognizing things are just shifting so much. And then to see how it shows up for you in life, that's the fun part. Like to watch it unfold.
And that passion within yourself is what fuels your energy as you're moving through each moment. And I'll give you an example. I've done this off and on for several years. My desire and passion is to be a coach and to teach and to help people heal the emotional wounds, mental wounds, and be lighter in their life to embrace and enjoy life. That's that to me, that's passion. My confidence has held me back. So the lack of self-confidence held me back. My finances, I has created a struggle. So I had to come up with a solution that created ease for me to pay off my debts. And, but it's still in me. That fire is still in me to pursue, be in the joy of being a coach and watching people transform from, that wounded victim person to the blossoming, lighter, glowing being that we are. And that passion is in me. I've not given up on it. In fact, I was sharing with you, we were talking about it before we even jumped on the recording. The 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 events that I'm creating, and it's exciting for me when I sit and am creating a class or creating a retreat or creating my next presentation. That's exciting to me. Then when I get to work, I enjoy my work. I'm not passionate about it. I enjoy that I'm helping people in a different way and still being able to plant seeds in from what I actually am passionate about for the coaching. Um, I still get to plant seeds and stuff, but it's in a different environment where I'm very restricted, not very restricted, but restricted on what words I can say and how I can teach and things like that. And I have I'm going to say constraints on allowing my true self to be in that arena through my work environment. I have to um kind of hold back on on the actual personality that I have, and sometimes that's using cuss words and stuff, and I have to I gotta hold back on that. Not good or bad. Maybe that's training me to be less using less language like that. But anyway, the passion is in me, but I'm feeling constrained because I am going to this job. I am having, working on paying off some debts and stuff, which is, I'm so grateful that I have this job to do that. There's moments, and this is what I was saying, I've been doing this off and on for quite a while. There's moments where I get frustrated and irritated because I have to go to or I don't have to, but I'm choosing to go to a job to help pay my debts. And I don't have the freedom of time that I would like, or the amount of time that I would like in my day to pursue what I'm passionate about. And so I get balled up in the judgment, the frustration, the irritation, sometimes slightly angry. Not like I used to be, but there's this little glimpse of um, anger because of the financial situation that I've created. And so it's my job to maintain my energy even when I go to my job, because my energy matters when I'm with those people. My energy matters of what I take into the office. My energy matters when we are creating something in the work environment to help other business owners. Like, my energy still matters. And I have gotten a lot of reminders lately over the past few months about that. That when my energy dips, meaning I get into that frustration or irritation, and it's not really because I'm thinking about what I could be doing instead of going to a job. It's that it's already in me. So this is a good opportunity for me to say this out loud and take some time today to do some journaling. But it's already in me. And so just somebody's tone of voice or their attitude or um, their pushiness, like, can trigger that within me. And again, as we've discussed before, it's not about them, it's about me. And when I match their energy, now my body is responding in that stressful way and causing discomfort to me. And then the ripple effect happens of how maybe I get headaches, maybe I get exhausted or fatigued or whatever the case may be. Maybe I'm just so um thinking about other things that I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing, and I bump my head or I stub my toe, or so now I have physical pain. So um yeah, it's our responsibility when we have something that we're excited about, um for us to hold on to that and that passion. I love it you say that. My passion is to be excited and passionate about me.
It, it's all a big deal. All of us is. It feels like that this is where we're all evolving to. And it's like I even learned at home, the more that we communicate, the more that we have a communication amongst each other. We have this great communication with inside of ourselves. I've been talking lately about, and I don't know if I've mentioned it, about, we all have a language. We all have our own personal language. And so when we meet somebody, we're learning a new language. And so we learn the language here. But at the same time, when I know that there's a communication that's happening between the two of us here at home, it creates a different conversation for me with inside of myself. And now when you were talking about going to your job and it wasn't your passion, it's like we accept things because we think that's the best viable solution because it's tangible. On the other side of that, it's like, what does your job look like to you? Like, how do you see your face when you're at your job? And I don't mean your job that you go to now. I mean the job that how would you like to see yourself every single day and envision that? Like, are you just talking to people? Like, in the whole process, like I keep saying, like, it's going through that process and of that experience and seeing what you do like the most in that experience. And it's like, oh, no, no, no. But we spend so much time on the other stuff, not we, but in general, people have a tendency to look at those things. And it's not a bad thing. It's just a creation thing. It's just letting you know what you don't want to have in your experience. That's all. And so when you know what you don't want, as Abraham Hicks has said, for a millennial, it feels like forever. It just helps us to create the things that we do want. But sometimes, because I've done it, I've gotten so wrapped in the things that I don't want that I can get wrapped in that worry and concern, but I'm not in that space of recognizing always immediately that as soon as that comes up, now I have an opportunity. What does it look like? What do I want it to look like? So when I hear someone telling me things, oh, I don't like this and I don't like that, I'm like, well, what does the world look like to you? What would the ideal world look like to you? And then they tell me, I'm like, that's great. Let's play with that. It's just different perspectives, right? But a lot of times people have spent more time focused on the things that we don't want. Again, I feel like that's giving our power away. It's giving our power away to things that we don't want. We've already experienced that. So it's just an opportunity for us to create something differently. I've been writing so many different things down uh, because there's just so much things that have been happening to me lately. And as we've been having the conversation, I'm like, oh yeah, that's another thing that I've been having an experience with or contemplating. Plant medicine. Plant medicine is another thing. I was talking to someone recently and we were talking about microdosing, and I'm like, well, yeah, that's all fine and dandy for places that it's legal and for being able to have product consistently to microdose. And then what flowed through me immediately was so many people are looking for permission to be themselves through plant medicine, and we don't need that permission. It's just a matter of showing up and being yourself. And so it's relying on something, again, it's something outside of self. It's something outside of self that we focus on, and it can take our attention for a long time, but it's not about all those things. It's about going back inside again.
Well, and we rely on the microdosing, any other substance. Um, when other people are happy, that ignites our happiness. Um, we rely on these outside sources when in fact, and it's already been shown that when we take the time to tune into our higher self, source, God, the higher vibrational frequencies, we reach all of that without any outside substance or source. And that also is a huge piece of igniting that passion within yourself. Because it's really your spirit saying, yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. This is exciting. Let's go do this. And they're really on board and they're ready to guide you through it. But our human self, because of our human circumstances or situations, we don't see that as a viable solution to just go willy nilly, go do something that we would enjoy. So, and for myself, there are some added things that I've taken on over this past year to help me grow in different ways. And so then there's the gratitude pieces of where I'm at. I've met so many people I wouldn't have probably typically met had I not had this job that I have. Um, I'm building my confidence in ways that I years ago would never have thought would have been possible. And so with these experiences that I'm having, when I lean into the side of I'm so grateful that this job is helping me pay off my debts, and it's helping me make connections, and it's also giving me an arena where I can plant seeds of what I do that I'm passionate about, and having conversations and connecting with people in ways um, that's in their environment, which is the business world, instead of expecting them to have met me in some other, you know, some other way, and then expecting them to come into my arena. I have been put into their arena to have these conversations. So the benefits of what I'm having the experiences with right now is so beneficial. And for me to maintain my energy about it is the gratitude, leaning into the gratitude to feel the passion, to keep that passion alive, and remember all the benefits that I'm getting right now with where I'm at.
100%.
And I have not ever given up on my passion. I've not ever given up on my coaching. It's in me, it's still there. And I am still nurturing that alongside the job. And now, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of this, but now with AI tools, I have so much more opportunity to build what is passionate to me alongside my job. So what used to take hours and hours and hours to create now takes minutes and I can get it out there. And as I was saying was I've taken on some other things. Well, one of those things is being the president of a nonprofit organization, and that's coming to an end at the end of June. So I'll have a couple more months of that. So then that will be off my plate and it'll create more space. And so it's like things are really turning around and shifting for me because I did go get a job to ease the discomfort and discord that I had within me with how I was viewing my situation. But I'm still working on that passion on the other side and still fueling that. So you can do things alongside each other and keep that fire alive within you. And with the job, that has really put me into some maintain my energy boot camp training. Let me tell you what. If anything I got out of this experience, it's that.
I agree. Even with me doing treatment still, what's come into my mind is even though I'm still seeing some people, that's microdosing for me. It's microdosing for me in those environments because I have had a tendency to take on others' energies. I have learned to be a chameleon, and a chameleon does it out of safety to kind of blend, and so they don't stand out as much. And now I'm standing more into who I am, and it's okay for me to stand out. It's okay for me not to agree with people, but I like to listen to their perspectives on things too. And I hadn't always, I'd be like, no, no, that's bullshit because this is really what it is. And it's like that's not true. There's so many different ways to perceive things that it's true for everybody and their own perspectives, and that's okay. So I like to listen to what they have to say. I get to grow from it. It's an opportunity for me to create when somebody else is saying something, and then it's an opportunity for me to ask them, and then to realize that I'm not a victim to others' energy. I don't have to be carrying it around with me, but I can recognize almost immediately where it's coming from. Like, oh, you dip down into this energy. And we talked about that a long time ago about, holding and maintaining our energy because otherwise you can be up here on the high flying disc and then all of a sudden you jump down to another disc unintentionally, but it's just to have that conversation or to blend in with that stuff and I would find that even in that kind of an experience, I would find that I would be giving advice almost from that experience. And for me now, it's like I've got to be, we've talked about the metronome, keeping the rhythm or the beat. And now it's like it's up to me to be that energy, and then everybody else can vibrate to that frequency. Or if they're higher, then they'll shift to all of us. And so that's the most important thing to me right now. It's not who's right and who's wrong, or what someone's doing this or someone's not doing this, or it's not any of that stuff. It's just to be in my space and then and watch how things are unfolding for everybody else because they have I had to go through this experience too. And I've had the support of you and I've had the support of others around me that could see beyond whatever behaviors I might have at that time, what beyond my little girl coming out and acting like a child that I've experienced recently, very recently, and her not getting her own way and not getting something and getting mad and then creating discord at home and then recognizing, wait a minute, this is how she's acting right now. What does she really want? And at that time it was I was missing my partner because he was very busy busy doing other things. And then it was able to put that into words and be vulnerable with it. And then it kind of quashed the whole throwing the temper tantrum. I would call it throwing a temper tantrum for sure. And I didn't understand it from that perspective until I stepped back to see that. And it's again more stuff that's not running my life anymore like I let it used to. Just take go ahead and run with that baton. I don't need to run with that baton anymore. I can lay it down. I don't have to behave that way. I can, and the thing is, when we're vulnerable like that, it can be received in a million different ways, but it was honest for myself. And so it felt very freeing. It changed the dynamics of everything, the whole conversation.
Nice. And you said, it gives you the opportunity to hear other people's perspectives and versions of whatever's going on and their explanations, their ideas. And it's similar to what we do with these recordings when we put them out there into the world is Bev and I have these conversations, and it gives the audience the opportunity to hear our perspectives or hear what we're going through and how we're navigating these life situations and experiences. And so, as you're listening to this, also know that there are other people out there who are doing the same thing. Everybody has these internal asks, these internal questions, and maybe you're the resource of getting that answer to them. Doesn't mean you have to have the conversation with them. Doesn't mean you have to be the teacher or the coach. It means you listened to a video that resonated with you or a podcast that resonated with you or read a book, and you get to share that with other people and say, hey, this, maybe you'll get something out of this, whatever this is: book, podcast, spiritual influencer, teacher, business influencer, whatever the arena you are in. So that's our ask is, the likes, the shares, and all the things is great. I know many, many, many people watch our videos and other content and they don't comment on them. They don't like them, but you could share them. You could have the conversations and just direct people to whatever piece of content uh, worked for you. So you can find us on many platforms. We are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Spreaker, Spotify, Podcast Addict, and YouTube. So you can find us fairly easily. We're Amy and Bev Community, Tea Time with Amy and Bev. Do you have any final words as we wrap this up?
Take time to spend time with yourself without, it's not about the meditation or all the distractions, because that just keeps you from dealing with a lot of what you've got going on with inside of yourself. Take time to look at those things and ask questions and then watch how you evolve.
Evolute. We're evoluting. All right, friends. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Tea Time with Amy and Bev, and we will see you next time.
Bye.